Sorry to barge in like this.
I'm Constable Kennedy.
Staff Sergeant Jerome, Ernie.
I thought Inspector Cormier...
Felt it was better that I come in, whereas he's a bit biased by his previous discussions. I'm fresh. How are you holding up? Any contact with the staff counselors?
No, I'll be fine. My spouse is a counselor.
I lost a partner. 12 years now. Rolled a skidoo during a chase. It took them a while, but they finally managed to wrestle me off my sense of blame. You tidy up in there?
No.
He did that before he left?
Yeah, that's how he always had it. How he is. Tidy.
I understand Brian's wife left him. Some guys, that'd be enough.
I think he was killed.
While staking out poachers?
Except there weren't any poachers. I think the stakeout was a way to lure me into an ambush. I think Brian was sexually involved with a teenager, Brenda Shore. Maybe set up, then blackmailed. When he noticed my suspicions, they told him to kill me. Except that he couldn't or wouldn't, and as a result...
They being?
Albert Golo. Bootlegger, trafficker. He visited Brian here the night before. They talked about Brenda. Her name was overheard.
So, you went out there with Brian with these suspicions?
I had no other way to be sure. I had backup from a hunter, Joe Gumba. He trailed us at a distance, and when Brian and I separated, he followed Brian, but Brian disappeared. We found this rifle near his trail. The serial number was filed away. It's the one he could have used on me. It wasn't fired. Search and rescue found his shotgun where he must have switched the guns.
And the revolver?
9mm, I guess he kept it. I go into all the details in my notebook. Betty. You all right? Yeah. Staff Sergeant Jerome, Betty Moses. She set up the treatment center here.
Your name gets around. I thought you'd be bigger. 7, 8 feet.
We cut my budget. Lost another one, eh? Must be tough.
Always is. Where would I find Joe Gomba?
Coffee shop.
Nice meeting you.
Followed his trail. Ended at the river.
You heard no shots? You saw no one else? No canoe, no Albert Golo or...
River's low at this time of year.
What do you think happened? Brian turned into a fish? The rifle you found, how was it hidden?
It wasn't. Just lying there. Nearly tripped over it.
You think he would have shot Michelle?
That man walking around with a gun. You don't know what he sees.
Dead. How?
In his eyes.
You knew Brian well enough?
Well, you know, I'd patch him up when he needed it.
After, for instance, that attack some months ago?
Yeah.
Poachers, right?
Official version. More like my protector. You see, Brian came on to me. I think. I don't know, but anyway, I think Albert saw.
Albert Golo?
Mm-hmm.
Was there any resolution?
There were no charges.
No, I'm meaning were Brian and Albert resolved. Could Albert find his way to killing Brian?
Yeah, I think it's possible. But I don't think he did it.
Why?
Well, you gotta remember where Brian was at.
Where was he at?
Insomnia, depression, paranoia. I mean, we're talking Mr. Lonely Hearts here. Would not want to spend a day in that man's head.
More coffee, Jerry?
On a normal night, would Brian be in here hanging out, or was he well enough liked?
I guess, you know, cops and all.
Same with Michelle?
Michelle's different. She's from here.
And native.
Maybe that's part of it. But being white doesn't have to get you hated.
Brian was hated?
Shouldn't say hated. The guy just kind of kept to himself. He had this smile nobody trusted. Stick him in his living room, I'd have been lost.
What's the word around town about his disappearance?
Some people say wait for payday, see if he makes it in for that. I wouldn't say that, but...
Bushman don't always let you out on payday.
He was an okay guy. Had some problems.
Don't we all? And here's mine. My baby brother's dad.
Brother?
Sister, whatever. May he make a better father than he does a bad manager.
Albert Golo. Ernie Jerome, RCMP. I'm here about the corporal. His disappearance?
So what'd you call it?
What would you?
The guy was fragile. His own partner didn't trust him.
He share that with you?
Try and make an effort. Guy comes in, doesn't know which side is up.
Must have welcomed your help. You paid him a visit the night before his disappearance.
Had some concerns about Michelle. Hassling kids, breaking their spirits.
Brenda, one of those? You asked about her.
Just if there'd been any news. She took off. We lose a couple every year.
Brian have a special interest in her? Pretty kid, I hear.
You think we'd let some outside white cop come in and screw our kids?
A few discrepancies, eh? You and Brian kept a lot from each other.
He didn't trust me. After a while, I didn't trust him either.
What came first? So, everything's Albert.
This isn't personal, sir.
Excuse me, but bullshit. Which doesn't mean you're wrong, but we're dealing with ghosts here. Ghosts and phantom evidence. I require substantially more. And it isn't here. It isn't here. To some, your contentions would constitute slander. Theories are fine, but I need bones.
The gun was in the water here. The trail ends there. Either he dropped it during a struggle or had it drawn and dropped it when he was shot.
But you heard no shots.
They could have used a knife or a garrote, or the sound was muffled by the wind in the river.
And the body?
They took it by canoe or dragged it to deeper water. It floats downstream, snags somewhere, bears and wolves pull it ashore.
Remember this guy, this corporal in Ontario? He did it in the bathtub. Real nice guy. Left the tap running so the blood drained out. The place was spotless. Just him and a razor. But the gun's obscured and the body floats away, as you said, for the bears and wolves. That's how he was, right, Brian? Tidy?
I can't see suicide. What about the rifle we found?
Exactly. Why would he throw away a rifle? Unless he thought he had no more need.
There was no note, no suggestion of this. He would have left something.
Or else we haven't found it. You think I'm being tough on you?
No, not at all.
Ottawa called. They received a complaint that I'm putting the Lynx River Constable through hell.
Who made the call?
Someone desperate to wield their clout.
Betty.
Whatever your feelings, you'll talk to me?
Yes, absolutely. You're leaving?
For the time being. I can lean towards misadventure if you'll take that over suicide.
Politically, it's more palatable.
Look, that can't be what happened.
If you plan to venture other theories, you better have the bullet and the body. I won't besmirch a dead man's reputation.
That wasn't my intention.
I'm sure it wasn't. But you had a man come in here and maybe die of isolation. I don't know if he connected with you. Certainly no one else seems to miss him. It wasn't your fault, but it's something to remember.